Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the colony, the place where if you understand, then you're part of our family, the colony. The day is 8/17, year 2019. Please close the door on the way in. Thank you. Glad you guys here for another discussion, another gathering of the colony. We need it. Yes, we do. Always looking for the long haul about things, not focusing on the current. Current is only temporary. Now, of course, like any colony gathering, we're going to start off with the Rashid Portal passage, and this will get us on our way. Please have notes with you just in case you decide to take notes, because this is very good information that you may be interested in going back later on and looking up what you scroll down in your files and put it together. You have good literature. Now, here we go. I come from a small world. The world in which I reside now, along with its sufferings, will not change me. The world is changing, but as the scriptures say, we remain the same. You see, it's important that we remain the same, even though the world is changing. We have to realize that the world is going to keep changing, but as for us, we shall remain the same. It's important that we remain the same. Our lives depend on it. We have to remain the same. Going down to the Rashid Portal poem that we also state before we get into any discussion. And that goes as follows. My eyes see, but I am blind. My heart beats, but I am dead. With my hands I touch, but I cannot feel. Nonetheless, we're underwater, and yet we breathe. Let's start breathing. It's no wonder why us as spiritual people are still moving forward amongst all this turmoil that exists today. You see, our determination, along with spirituality, that spark of spirituality will keep us moving forward. It will keep us upright. It will keep us thinking straight. See, the world is wishy-washy. The scriptures bring out the world as wishy-washy. You see, 1 minute they up, 1 minute they down. 1 minute they happy, next minute they sad. See, we stay the same. Which is not easy to do. It's really not easy to do. But we still stay the same. With the help of Spirit, we stay the same. What I want to discuss on this gathering, is something that's familiar to all of us, but hardly nobody really touch on it because of the subject itself. That's getting to the core of, do we really believe in the scriptures? See, you have to understand how we as people think. You have to understand how we as people think. We could be down in the dumps. We could be going through something really, really trialsome. And we can have somebody with us that's giving us the encouragement and comfort we need to carry through our low point. As time go on, when that low point go away, when we get back on our feet and we get strong again, which it happens because this is reality, this is life, so it happens. When we get strong again, all over again, when that person who is with us, who comfort us, come around, and God forbid if we doing better than we was before the low point, if they come around, what will the average person, how would the average person treat that person? Would they treat them as an equal? Or they say, well, you was with me at a low point, so I'll remember that. So I'm going to put you up here with me. Will that happen? Have you ever seen that happening? Have you ever seen it happen? Have it ever happened to you? You see. In other words, what I'm saying, our brain does that because we're people, we're human. For some reason, we really don't show or see the appreciation in what people do for us, given the right circumstance, under the right circumstance. We wouldn't. We wouldn't. Maybe you wouldn't, but I would. But I've never been in that situation. But yet and still, I'm judging by what I've seen. I've never seen it. In other words, what I'm saying is, we have these promises. We have all of these promises of the future for us as people here on the planet Earth. And at a time, we may have been strong, really strong in our beliefs. Really strong. But when man, and we go through all of these tribulations that's going on now on the planet Earth, all of these tribulations that's going on, what happens to our faith in the promises that's promised to us? What happens? It weakens. What I'm trying to say right now, the judging from the world scene and what they talk about on the news and what's going on right now, if you stood up and said God and Jesus, those words are so small right now. They are the mustard grain that Jesus spoke about. They are so tiny, almost just as tiny as a cell that you have to look in with a microscope. I mean, it's barely here. And on top of that, it's jelly at that. Meaning, it's transparent. You can see right through it. It's not solid. That's how weak it is. If it was compared to a candle, you will probably just see the stem with the tip of the stem red, without any fire burning at all. And the reason why you know that it's still lit is because you don't see no smoke. See, when a candle goes out, that's when you see the smoke. That's when you know the candle is out. So compared to spirituality here on the planet Earth, if it was compared to a candle itself, it would just be a stem with a red tip on the end of it. No smoke, because it's still lit. See, God says the Lord said He will not let it go out, but He did say this will happen. he did say that the greater number will cool off, you see. So this, what we're going through, is a must. We have to go through this. But before we get into our discussion, let's get on a lighter note. Let's turn over here to what we specialize on this colony, on these colony gatherings, and that's the Amish women. I have another one. And let's see how y'all view this Amish woman, which I hold personal because she is cute. Shall I say she's cute? She's cute. And I named her Sabrina, and she's the newest Amish woman or girl. Take your pick. And let's bring out Sabrina. Is that right, sweetie? Alright, here is Sabrina. And here she is, right here. This is Sabrina. Hey, Sabrina. And, again, it didn't take me long to do. It really didn't take me long to do. It was very pleasurable doing these women. By the judge of her, she's in her 20s. I think she's in the, wait, she could be a little girl, though. She looks like a little girl. You know, I always judge when I finish. It gives it more, it makes it more exciting when I finish it. And when we judge it then, when we finish, that's when we look at it and see. Yeah. I don't know until the final product is finished. I'm very excited about Sabrina. Didn't take long to do. You would think there were computer animation going on all over the place, that I would partake in computer animation. Like I told y'all before, I can't handle that computer animation. I really can't handle that because I can't get what I want. But that's the thing I'm about to say, sweetheart. I'm not saying that we're never gonna dabble in it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I feel comfortable with sketching with my hand and creating with my hands. That's all I'm saying. I just can't get into that computer genre that everybody, not everybody, but artists dabble in. Because I feel like I can't control what I'm doing. For them, it probably works. For them, it probably works. It doesn't work for me. I have to use my hands. I could get gravity with my hands. The old animation, the classic animation, the way animation used to be created with just basic necessities. I could really get into that. I touch it up with computer now with the shadows and things like that, of course, but I have to use my hands. Especially when it comes to these Amish women. I wanted to look authentic when it comes to them around the colony, because this is the place for, I'm trying to create this wholesome atmosphere. And because they're done with my hands, I think it brings out the wholesomeness in it rather than the computer sketch or what have you. That's just my opinion about it. I don't know how y'all view it. That's how I view it. And yeah, so this is Sabrina. She's the new Amish woman, girl, on the colony. Yeah. And there'll be another one. When you come back again, there'll be another one. Yeah. Yeah, very nice. We started to watch an Amish show yesterday. Wasn't it yesterday? And it's always talking about how they leaving. I don't know why these Amish shows like that. It's so many Amish shows I can watch where it takes you inside their culture and show you their lifestyle, and so forth like that. But lately, in the past 10 years, it's always been these shows about them leaving. I thought it was going to be an Amish, we really thought it was going to be an Amish show, like they're going to tell us about their culture or whatever like that, or what they believe in or their lifestyle. But instead, it was this Amish family who left. It's always that lately when it comes to these Amish documentaries. And I really harbor the notion of this is such bullshit, They always make it like you want to be a part of this crazy world instead of spirituality. I don't, that's what I'm talking about. That's what we're going to discuss. Because of that, we have all of these weak faiths around us because of that. It's no wonder why if you stand up and say God or Bible or even Quran, people don't know what you're talking about. When you go overseas and see like these Muslims or what have you, and you see how spiritual they are, people just look at them like government. They not paying attention to how much they value their God, Allah. The God is Allah. They not paying that any attention. All they looking at is, okay, that's that government fighting stuff. They're not paying attention to how they praying, how they doing obese. All you see now is when you see that is, okay, this linked to the government now. Spirituality is at an all-time low, the way it's never been before. I'm talking all-time low. All-time low. So we want to say, hi to Sabrina, the new Amish girl around the colony, and look for more Amish women in later on gatherings. Okay, now let's move on. What I want to discuss is a problem we have. We have a serious problem. And I'm going to let you guess what it is. I'm going to let you guess what it is. Now, here we go. I'm going to explain. What if you worked in a cheese factory? Okay? You worked in a cheese factory and you worked 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. Friday, when you come home, the question is, are you going to smell like cheese? Yes or no? When you work Monday through Friday and you come in the door on Friday, will you smell like cheese? Why would you smell like cheese? Why? What's the answer? If I ask you, why you smell like cheese? You say, because I work in a cheese factory. Now, here's another question. Is that normal? Is it normal? That's obvious. That's normal. Is it normal? Very good. Y'all pretty good at this game. Okay, so it is normal. Okay, now here we go. Now. Why wouldn't it be normal to hear a service, a Christian service on Sunday, and it's not lukewarm? For those of y'all who don't know what lukewarm is, give me a second. I'm going to look up lukewarm. Wait 1 minute here. Yeah. Give me a second. Lukewarm.
Here's the definition of lukewarm. A liquid or food that should be hot only moderately warm, tepid.
Okay. Now, hold that thought. No. 1 minute. Lukewarm worship. No, it's not here. It's really not here. It's really not here. Worship song. Okay, we're going to have to do this another way. Lukewarm worship is worship that's not serious about the scriptures. In other words, I came close to it when it says lukewarm people. Now this is from Ignite, Revelation made clear. It says lukewarm people attend worship fairly regular because they think that is what they have to do, not what they want to do. That's the closest we could come to the definition of lukewarm. Now that's found at Revelation 3:14-22. I found that Revelation 3:15-17 also. That lukewarm worship is like they think that they have to do this, but they don't want to do this. God says they are wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. They are lukewarm Christians because they have not invested in God, but in this world. Their focus is not on the spiritual, but on the physical and material. So that's the definition. So the Bible calls them useless. And the Bible says that He wants to vomit them out of His mouth. Some of them think they are rich because of their physical possessions that they have. However, they are not rich towards God. And this is taken from the scriptures, what I just wrote. And their works 3:15-17. Jesus, and it says Jesus knows their works. So what I'm trying to say is it really their fault that they're like this? That's where I'm going with this. Think about the cheese factory now. Is it their fault that they like this? Look around. Take a good look around at everything. We are really going through something tremendously hard as spiritual people. Tremendously hard. Tremendously hard. Is it our fault or their fault that they're tainted with this world? Don't forget, it's really hard. What if one person had the job and responsibility of preaching every single week to a congregation. Every single week. I mean, every single Sunday, this whoever this it could be a reverend or whoever, have to preach to a congregation. Rest assured, have you ever heard a lukewarm sermon that he gave? I have. Yeah, we have. We have. It's like the cheese factory. You work around it. They all in the world. Then when it's time to perform, you may see lukewarm. You see. There is a difference between deliberate lukewarm and incidental lukewarm, because only the Lord knows the mind frame when a person is preaching to a congregation. The scripture says if it's a deliberate sin, then the sacrifice is not for you. You understand? It's not for you. If it's a thorn in the flesh, like the Apostle Paul had, that's a different story. Have you talked to the Lord about your sin? You see, or are you trying to hide it from the Almighty? That classifies, if you're speaking to a congregation, you're giving lukewarm testimonies or lukewarm services. What I'm trying to say is that is so many lukewarm services out here. It's hard for me to lay in bed at night and find a good service to listen to while I'm in bed. Some of it I have to actually sit up, reach over, and turn it off. And yes, sweetie, you know that. I just can't take it. It's just so full. It's a difference to be lukewarm, but when you're full of it, you see the difference. It's like, it's almost to the point, I don't know what this baptized servant of God is talking about. He's getting everything wrong. You can see flesh, and you always could catch him in something. You always could catch him, and so it's going to show. It's going to show. You know why? Because God's Spirit is going to show it to true believers that's listening. See, God, let me tell you something about the Lord. The Lord will not let his sheep be fooled. See, it's called the crafty acts of the devil. Notice, crafty. They're very articulate. They're very crafty. See, the Lord will always show it to a true follower who's listening to a lukewarm preacher. It will magnify like a light bulb. They screwed up with that one. And because of that, the whole service is going to be thrown off. Now, the reason that I said that the cheese factory example is because they might not, they might can't help it. It's between them and the Lord, their personal relationship with the Lord. They might can't help it because they're around it, so they're going to smell like it. They're going to just, you can't help it if you're beat down. But at the same time, if you're listening to somebody and you see a crack in what they're saying now, and it's magnified, that will throw the whole talk, the whole spiritual talk right out of the window. And I see it over and over again. And what's the common one? I'm going to tell them this, sweetie. The common one that I see over and over again that people can't get out of, and these preachers, I'm not saying no names. I'm never going to say no names. But these speakers are not paying attention to is their love of country. That's the number one thing they keep screwing up over and over and over again. They say everything like they on point now. Everything. but they keep screwing up. Like they will say, for an example, I know that's what I'm about to say. I'm about to tell them that because we said they did it. I mean, everybody we go to listen to that's prominent actually does it and don't realize they're doing it. See, that's God's Spirit letting true believers see, hey, this person, how can they be serious about everything? See, it's tied in on what they're saying. They're saying this stuff back to back to back to back, but that one opening will destroy all of that because it's all tied in. How can they be serious about it? Let me tell you what I mean. It's their love of country. The Bible says, do not be loving the things in the world. Anybody who loves the world, the love of the Father is not in them. So you'll hear them saying, because we don't know what's going to. Well, yeah, that's about the. Well, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We're not sure what's going to happen, and they say it like when they in between, like a conjunction word, like and, if, or. They say it like that. They say da 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 da. So we want to be careful because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But furthermore, God's Spirit will help. And I'll say, back up, right there, back up. Back up. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. See, they're not paying attention. Their love of country is seeping out. It's seeping out, and they can't control it. See, when you're serving the Lord, no matter how hard you try, if you're doing something wrong, a true follower will see it. It will be magnified. The Bible says he will not let his true sheep be fooled. They will know. How can he be serious about anything he's saying when he says something powerful as we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow? One speaker we heard say, because I love my country, I pray for this country, America. I pray for it. Wait a minute now. What did Jesus say about that? What did Jesus say about that? See, the thing about it is, it's hard for I would say particularly a white American to come out of white America and be a Christian straightforward. I had a study teacher when I was with the Jehovah's Witness. I had a study teacher, and he was white. I mean, he was closer than leather. You know, he was really up in age. He could barely walk. So I helped him out. You know, I drove him to different congregations to give talks. I was like Timothy. And I told you that before. I was like Timothy with this elder. This elder had a hard time. After so many years in the truth, he still had a hard time with putting his country aside and saying, I'm for God's government. See, what I'm trying to say is, it can be something like a thorn in the flesh for a lot of white Americans. It could be a thorn in the flesh. It could be a thorn in the flesh for a black American who says, I'd rather see a black person up there doing that. And I had one sister, I know, sweetie, I know. I ain't going to get too deep, but I had one sister in the congregation say, Rachi, you notice that in the watchtower they always white looking? We all the dark skinned there, you know, but she couldn't help but do that. But you have to focus on when the Israelites was out in the wilderness. And remember, Moses took a Cushite wife, which is a black woman, and what Miriam was complaining about. Why did Moses have to get a black woman? For I don't understand it. All the women talking about it. He took a Cushite wife. What the heck is so? And then what did God do to Miriam? He struck her with leprosy and said, let her stay outside the camp for a certain time. So you see that the race stuff, even though you're in God's camp, can still be prevalent. You see, it's still, and what I'm trying to say is still could be an issue. So you may get these white preachers today, evangelists, that will skip up when they're talking and they will express their love for their country. But at the same time, it's a measure that, that's what I'm saying, sweetheart. It's still a measure of responsibility to know what to say. Meaning, God is very stern when he comes to that. How did Jesus treat the government officials? They wanted Jesus to run for office. So you have to understand, Jesus displayed no love whatsoever for the country, the Romans. In fact, they weren't even part of his service till he offered up a sacrifice. Basically, you see, he showed no love for country whatsoever. No love. What did God say about this world? If anybody loves the world, then the love of the Father is not in him. So now I'm looking at this person on the stage. I love my country. I pray for this country. Does that make any sense? Now I'm going to do this one more time, because y'all know I do that on my speeches that I give on the colony. I'm going to do this one more time now. If anybody loves the world, you're not listening. You're not listening. If anybody loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Now, I pray for this country. I love this country. I pray for this country. Does that make any sense? It could be a struggle for a lot of individuals, particularly Americans. It could be a struggle, though. Because, see, we're taught we have to put God's kingdom before anything. And that's another thing that classifies as a lukewarm discussion when you're talking about, when somebody's giving a lecture or talking. When is somebody is going to talk about God's kingdom? When? How long? What? When I turn on a service, when is somebody going to talk about God's kingdom like Jesus? I want you to take heed to something that you're not paying attention to. Remember the Mountain of Olives? The Mountain of Olives Jesus was on, and his disciples came to him and say, Tell us, Rabbi, when will these things be? And what will be the sign of thy coming? People seem to always, baby, I'm telling them, people seem to always go to the questions. The questions. You're like you're playing a baseball game and they're pitching you the ball and you're swinging the bat. And you keep missing and missing because you're missing the point. You're missing the point. They say, this is what they say. They say, as you see, they're asking Jesus two questions here. They're asking him, when will these things be? That means when will it happen? And what will be the sign of thy coming? In my opinion, they doing that right, but also they doing that wrong. They doing it all wrong. All wrong. First of all, why did they ask him that question? Let's start. Why did they ask him that question to begin with? Why did they ask him? What reason did they ask Jesus that question on the Mountain of Olives? Okay, we're going to do it this way. We're going to do it this way. What if I showed up in this neighborhood and I like to bake pies? I like to bake blueberry pies. That's just what I like to do. I just like to bake pies. I like to bake pies. I like to really bake pies. I like to bake pies. And that's all I talked about. That's all I talked about. Was baking pies. That's all I talked about. And then I say, one day I'm going to bake so many pies. I'm going to feed everybody in the village, in this village where I enter. I'm going to give everybody a free pie. And that's all I talked about. And I have these chefs, these bakers following me. They admire my ability to bake these pies. They like it, so they following me. And they follow me, and I'm baking pies right in front of them. And they say, this is delicious. And I'm telling y'all, one day I'm going to bake pies for everybody. You wait and see. Then we all sit down. I'm going to do it. You wait and see. Then somebody say, you always say it every time you bake a pie, you tell before you give it to anybody, you say, yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm going to bake a pie for everybody in this village. What would be the question? When? You see? When? So, let's go back to the Mountain of Olives. Rabbi, when will these things be? And what will be the sign of your coming? What are they saying about Jesus' ministry when he was talking up to that point? Around all of these people, all of these years, these 3 years, what have you, what are they saying? What was he talking about? He must have been talking about something really beautiful. He must have been talking about something really, we want this, what you're talking about here. We want it. We want it. He must have been talking about something really important there, really delightful for them to say, okay, when will these things be? And what will be the sign of thy coming? For some reason, evangelists today and preachers today speak only of his signs of him coming and when will these things be. You see the point? Y'all don't get it, do you? The reason why, in other words, what I'm saying is, what if they never asked that question? What if they never, ever asked that question? Did Jesus take it upon himself to say, there will be great earthquakes, y'all? There will be great earthquakes. And he say, Rabbi, what are you talking about? Oh, I'm talking about when I come. I'm talking about the sign of my coming back. There will be great earthquakes. There will be food shortages. Are you sick? Yes. There will be, men will be lovers of themselves, self-assuming, haughty, blasphemy, disobedience of parents. What if Jesus just did that without no questions asked? Why did he do that in the first place? Because they asked him. See, before that, what was his preaching like? My question, now, here's my question once again. Why nobody's talking like that? Dude, why are they sticking to only the signs that he said of him coming back? You may say, well, I don't recall. Well, you know the Jesus ministry. You know what he spoke about. You want to remind you? Okay, thus I'll remind you. He spoke about God's kingdom that's going to crush and put an end to all these kingdoms existing today, and his kingdom staying in the time indefinite. That's what he talked about. He denounced the Pharisees, what they was doing. That's the government. You know that's the government. He said, pay back Caesar's things to Caesar and God's things to God. That's what kind of stuff he was doing, but I think that was after, but either or. That's what kind of stuff he was doing. He was doing miracles, saying what it's going to be like in God's kingdom of getting rid of all mankind's problems. Why nobody's preaching like that? Why everybody stuck on Jesus' signs of him coming back? I don't understand it. I don't get that. What will be the sign of, when will these things be? So, stop right there. He was talking about things that people wanted. The peace on earth. The fact that all races getting along together. There'll be no sickness. There'll be no death. You talk too much of that, it's like, okay, when will these things be? You see? He's talking about each and everybody is going to live a rich and fulfilling life equally. Equally. The wolf will reside with the lamb, you see. And he proved it by doing miracles showing that he was the Son of God that can bring this to be. That's what the miracles is for. He told them, don't go tell nobody. And they always went and told somebody. You see the point? The only reason why we know about the earthquakes, the disease, the pestilence, all of the signs is because he was asked. When would he say? They was not part of his ministry. See, he was asked. What will be the sign of thy coming in the conclusion of the system of things? So then he said all of disasters that's going to be here that will mark his presence at the front door to bring upon his new world order, his new kingdom. That's why all of the earthquakes and all that stuff was there. He talked about that. Other than that, if they didn't ask him that, we would never know. We supposed to be focused on the kingdom. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta go. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta go because I'm just upset. All right. My eyes. All right. This is the portal poem. I'm sorry, guys. I have to go. My eye. Let's wrap it up with the portal poem. My eyes see, but I am blind. My heart beats, but I am dead. With my hands I touch, but I cannot feel. Nonetheless, we're underwater, and yet we breathe. We got to keep breathing, guys. I don't know what hit me just now, but something hit me, and just anger swelled up on my nostrils. I don't like what's going on here. Okay, and let's just wrap it up, guys. Until the next colony, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Take care, guys.